Anyone here? Neo Valentine? Oh, I wonder if my mic is not working. Oh, it says it's on, I think. Unmute. Huh. Check the sound settings, recording, default delay. Use it. Oh, there we go. So you can hear me. Okay. Yeah, I coughed. Sorry. Let's see. You have questions. What are the red line swirls for? That is trying to do this in like a handcrafted style, so trying to make it look like it was drawn and painted by somebody. It's kind of old and authentic, so I was like, well, they're not going to be these hard rigid lines, so I was thinking maybe somebody took some red ink and drew out the borders of the various countries and states, so try to give it like a custom look, like it was used somebody used a paintbrush. So still not set on that idea, so I have it ready to go if I don't like it or if I find something else. But I don't know, I think it's interesting. I may tweak it a bit. It's sort of a placeholder right now, so we'll see. Right now I am still debating on whether or not I want to even do colors, like terrain colors, for the whole map or maybe just the inset, just trying to make it look sort of topographical, brown mountains, green trees, blue lakes. So we'll see how it goes from there, but for now I just want to at least spend some time to do it, see if I like it so I can compare it without it, and then if that gets some good feedback, maybe I'll keep it in there, or maybe just do two versions. Maybe I'll have an old yellowed dirty old scroll type map version of the map, and then maybe I'll do full color map. Maybe people like full color. I don't know. I personally like either. I like both versions. So I don't know. We will see. So we're giving it that watercolor look. If you keep that, wouldn't there be more faded lines, sort of like kingdoms come and go, territories get bigger and smaller? Like they use the same map, but always change where the borders, or if you keep that. If I keep the red borders, yeah, I mean, it could be, but it could be that somebody just drew up this map, just for the sake of drawing it in the current day and age when the story takes place. So yeah, I like that idea though. Like it's like a map that somebody in the story uses over and over, and they keep changing it up. I am actually toying with the idea of doing this map. I actually saved a duplicate copy of it because this is a monster file, and taking out all the details and the border lines and everything, and taking out all the state and country names, and doing like a follow along, pirate map style. So it'll have, you can follow along in the while you're reading, you can follow the quest and see where they go and what they do. Like follow the little red dot line, something like that. Turn the borders off. They're kind of distracting. Same with the letters. I need to be able to see behind those. The names are they inset labels. Borders off. It's cool because if I do that other version of the map, I could do like glyphs, you know, do like little I don't know how I would do this. I don't want to hand draw them because I'm terrible at drawing, but like do like a city or something, you know. Something like that. And that would be what the hell's the name of that city? Iron. No. Yeah. But I'd probably do it in a nice type. And then for like a village, maybe a little house, little hut, or a long house or something, or a bunch of little houses. I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, you know, put the little icons there. But see, I'm already zoomed in so far. I mean, even though this is like the map of a planet, I wouldn't be putting icons on here unless they were very significant. But I mean, most of the story takes place, like, definitely takes place down here. Definitely takes place around here. They dip up here a little bit, and then they come up here and go back. That's kind of a suggestive drawing. I'm not going to draw that, but yeah, I mean that's all that's planned so far is pretty much here, 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 up in here a little bit. I think yes, they actually, because this is Gasravi, so that's, yeah, they come up here a little ways. Big bad spot. There's home. There's the city. One of the cities. Nobody really goes over here. This continent was sort of just to fill out the world. So I didn't want it to look like one of those Game of Thrones maps, you know, where it's like, here's this continent, and then there's this continent, and that's it. It's like, well, where's the poles? Where's the North and South Pole? Where's the other continents? Where's the islands? Like World of Warcraft has a cool map and everything, but it's totally not realistic. And I wanted this to be as realistic as possible. So I tried to really mimic the shape of how a continent forms. You've got these goofy, weird peninsulas and inlets and large rounded shapes, like maybe that, like this island fit here one time, you know, plate tectonics. This is actually a massive impact crater that just survived. It hit this continent, used to like be connected here and come out here and do this, and it just destroyed it. But it left all these badass looking rings of like raised mountains just sticking up out of the ocean in concentric circle flat fashion. So I really like that idea, because when you look at like I used to use this program called Celestia, which was like a very nice. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Trying to make it something people would want to hang up, you know, in their battle studio / live stream room on the wall in the background. But yeah, I used to mess with this program called Celestia, and basically it was like, I don't know if you've ever heard of Universe Sandbox, but basically it was like 3D. You could set up a star and a bunch of planets and have them rotating it, and you could just mess with it. You can mess with all the values like gravity and all kinds of stuff. Well, before Universe Sandbox, there's this program called Celestia, and it was basically um, like uh, a more hardcore version of that, where like everything you had to do yourself. Yeah, and it was really cool because I made like an entire solar system out of that, and did the research on where planets could be in that type of solar system with that star, and how many planets it could have, what kind that they would be, and their masses and gravities and orbits and all kinds of stuff. And one really cool feature was that you could download these bump maps and these image files that people would create in this community for planets. So it's basically like a skin that you would put over the 3D sphere, and you could um, just basically make your planets look like what you wanted them to look like. And one thing that these people did was they would always do like terraformed moon or terraformed Mars or terraformed whatever, like planet or moons of Jupiter and stuff like that. So it would look like that moon or planet, but it would have like lakes in the craters, like filled with water. It'd be like green all over the place. It just looked really cool, and I always really liked that aspect because it's like that's what would happen if you had a planet that was like constantly bombarded by craters, and then life started taking over. So that's why I did that. I was like, I always wanted to show like a huge impact crater that you could see from space, but it's not quite apparent that it's an impact crater because it's just like there's water and there's islands. So detail. Well, you can tell it's like grassland into forest, but I don't know. Really don't want to do another inset of just Sonos. So that would be, well, I guess I could throw another inset up here. That'd be kind of interesting. Yeah, exactly. That's a cool. Yeah. Yeah, I really like that concept. If you could just imagine like that one crater that's in Arizona, I forget what it's called. It's like the most apparent, intact, most recognizable impact crater out there today, I think. Like just imagine that filled with water and it became a lake. It's really cool. Basically Crater Lake. If Crater Lake was an actual impact crater, that would be really cool. Other than that, just plain old boring plate tectonics. Really like this continent design though. Just like somehow this ring just sort of formed. You can kind of tell it was liquid at one point, liquid magma, and it just was like, you know what, I'm staying right here. And then that's it. Just really like that. Really love this brush that I found too. Terrible at making brushes, so I always like download them and maybe try to adjust them, but this one has a really cool feel. Makes it feel like it was drawing on some rough paper, and it has all these little skips in it. I'll try to blend this out more because this is like a more deserty continent over here, because that's like sort of getting near the equator. But it's interesting because this continent is not that much higher in terms of latitude, but it's much higher in elevation. This is where a lot of snowy mountains are. And then just opposite of that, it's like desert. Elevation makes all the difference.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, he's here.
What's up?
What's up, dude?
Not much. Got done. Had to, do the husbandly duties and to finish the dishes and clean up and just generally take care of things before I start
taking care of the macho business.
That's right. That's right. How you been, man?
Good, doing good. I just been working on that video, doing like a pretty good informational promo video.
Yeah.
And I was like all pumped and excited to record the voiceovers for it this weekend. And then I realized I don't have a good enough mic to do it after I did a couple takes. So I was so pissed. I was like, no.
Yeah. Man, the first one that we did on our first campaign, which is not great. I literally was in Mutt's office where he worked, and it was like 1 a.m. and we're trying to get all this stuff done for the campaign. And I'm sitting there with my head right up in my MacBook, and I'm just recording myself talking. It's so silly. And we ended up using it for the campaign, and it was awful. And then we eventually scrapped it, and we did something different for the second time around. So
that's funny.
Cool, man. So you're working on this map?
Yeah. So the other thing was I got so I was like pissed off because I couldn't record it, and I was like, it sucks. I don't want to have to hire somebody. And then I just found a really cool British voice actor on like Fiverr to do it. So I was like, all right, I'm cool with this. I mean,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it sounds kind of weird, but I'm like, whatever. I get it. It was cheap. It did great quality.
That's how people do it. If that's how people do it, that's how people do it.
Exactly.
So that's like, cool.
Yeah, so that's coming. I'm just waiting on colors from Steve for that big promo shot that that we put out, and then the video will be coming out. So
sweet. So it's still a August launch, correct?
Yeah. Once I get that piece and I start finalizing the campaign page, then I'll start narrowing down like a actual like launch date, because I just don't want to go out and be like, oh yeah, it's August something, and then something happens, and then I don't want to be a liar,
No, yeah, absolutely. That's one of those things too that you gotta always is if you can be as true to your word as possible, that is the best way to continue to gain followers and people that are excited. Is just keep be true to your word. You're gonna make it happen. So
definitely.
Let's see. I'm gonna tweet out, tell people to come watch this.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I'm so confused because this is my first time I've ever done this. So I'm like juggling my phone.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what are you using? You're doing Hangouts, obviously, but
yeah, Hangouts. I have
Hangout stream through YouTube, and you're using I see. So what are you using? Clip Studio? Is that what that is?
Correct.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. That link, the 2 links I put in the Delta chat, those are the links. Yeah.
Yep. Got it here. Let's see if we can drum up some business.
Why is this not working? What did I do wrong? Water. There we go. Something was masking it.
I am terrible Like so, I'm terrible at all any sort of drawing. Like if digital, especially digital, just because I'm using like the layers and stuff. Like I know how to use them in theory, but I always end up like starting to draw something on a layer that shouldn't be there and like screwing something up, and I'm bad at that.
Yeah, I've been getting better at it. Like I'm trying to learn it. Like I've been drawing and painting all my life, but it's never been like anything stellar, nothing to brag home about. So when I discovered like digital stuff, I was like, oh, I could totally get behind this. And I didn't realize there's like a huge, massive learning curve. So I'm getting into it, but
Yeah,
I
I,
guess settle in.
I need to invest in a program. I'd like to just start messing around with like flatting and coloring, because that seems like the easiest way to start getting into doing some sort of comic create. Like I can write, but I and I
Yeah.
can't, and I might not even be able to do that really well, but I could probably like at least help in the process of coloring or like flatting for Mutt or for whoever, so I can get half of that work done. It gets done quicker if
Yeah,
for future projects, and I think it would be somewhat like enjoyable. It's like adult coloring a little bit.
definitely. Yeah,
Yeah.
dude. I don't know if you know, but the I'm the official flatter for Wisdom
Mm.
Comes now, because I was just
Yeah,
like,
I
you know,
remember. I remember you showing some like you were like flatting the dragon or something like that, and you're like quickly doing it, and I was like, man, that looks really good, even just flatted. It it looks
this
pretty
one.
good. So, um, yeah, it was like bluish. Like, yeah, that's the one. Yeah,
Yeah.
and I was like, that's cool, man. That's awesome. And I guess it doesn't really matter what color the dragon is
Not
or
really.
anything.
No.
It just
Yeah.
has to be a color that's different from the other color, so that the colorist can come in and massage it down.
Yeah,
Uh,
exactly. And I was like, what is that, two or that's two? I was doing it. And this is the first one I ever did. So I basically learned how to flat with this piece. And so I was doing it, and I was like, oh, this is easy. It's like a coloring book. I'll keep the inks
right.
on so I know where I'm coloring, and
Yeah.
I'll just color it in, and then
So and
I
what
would
ca-
turn the
what
inks off, and it was
um
terrible.
so what do you do for yeah, so like what is it imported as? Like what's the like when you import the file to start doing the flatting, is it
Um,
a like a JPEG, a like what is it?
oh, I think he sends me. Let's
Or
see.
like PNGs or something?
He
I
sent
just don't
my.
know.
This is what my artist sends me right here. So he sends me a clip file, which is a Clip
Clip file.
Studio, yeah,
Yep.
formatted files. This is what he
Right.
sent me.
Okay.
So it's just his inks,
Yep.
and in the various layers that he does, what he does, his adjustments and all that stuff.
Cool.
This
Yeah,
is
that's the other thing I need to do is figure out, like, I need to get correct files to practice on too. And I
yeah.
mean, Mutt should help me with that.
Oh,
But
definitely.
he has no time to help a dork like me. So
I'll help you, dude. It's no problem. I learned, and I'm getting faster at it now, and I'm
yeah,
learning better techniques.
I
I'm not
need to
just
get
looking
yeah, I
at
need
it.
to get a program first. That's the main thing. I
Yeah.
have I have a Mac, so I do have this program called GIMP, and
Oh, I
they make it
remember
for
him. Yeah.
yeah, they make it for everything. But it actually for a free program is pretty great. So I figured I could maybe potentially learn on that too.
Yeah, I used to use GIMP a lot.
Yeah.
Neo Valentine is in the chat. They showed up. Neo Valentine, I'm sorry, I don't know who you are, so I don't want to say him or her, but yeah, they said putting pencil on paper is not for me. That's funny because that's what I
Uh,
do. But man,
I'm terrible. I'm absolute garbage at it. And there's been a couple people that have tried to do the let's get writers and make them draw, and it sounds really good. Like I even had I was like, oh, this is going to be great. I'm going to do the show like every week and have writers come on and draw something. And the format I had, I thought would have been more exciting. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Like it never is that exciting because the writers are just talking and stuff, and that's great. And that part is cool, but it ends up just being like really terribly drawn things, and it is
Yeah.
pretty funny most of the time, like just because it's bad, really bad art. But
Yeah. No, I think that's an interesting concept. I do like doing that. Oh, Neil Valentine says I'm a dude. Good. Okay. Not that your name was weird or anything. I just don't know. I'm not gonna be like, oh
oh,
yeah, she said this.
I've
Yeah.
totally made that mistake with like there's there's somebody on Twitter that is like they're a big fan of like a female character, and so like that's their like name,
I would
and so
probably
like you're so sweet, like and like I said, like she or her, something like like the pronoun
yeah,
thing,
yeah.
and and he was like, "No, I'm a dude," and I was like, "Oh, that was super awkward."
Way to make it weird.
Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah, dude, I'm down to show you what I do for flatting for sure anytime because it's
Sweet. Yeah, we
showing.
should do one, well, we could do one on air at some point too,
Oh,
but,
for sure, yeah.
I might do one off air so you can, like, just help me go through it, and it might be more interesting once I learn it once.
Yeah,
Or, like,
definitely.
see it once, yeah.
Yeah, once you pick it up. Yeah, I'm no pro. I could just show you what I've learned. I'm
Yeah,
sure
sure.
somebody out there's 10 times better. But yeah, it was funny because I posted I think I posted this one in the chat group. And I think Kyle Ritter, deaf
Yeah, yeah,
colorist,
yeah.
yeah, he's like, uh somebody is asking me about the colors, or I mentioned something about the colors. I was just like remarking on how I like doing them on all these weird like different colors because it's just fun.
Yeah, it's
And then
awesome.
I think he like chimed in. He's like, red, yellow, and blue are best, or something like that. And I was like, what? That blows my mind. Like he just uses three colors to flat.
Yeah, yeah,
Crazy.
and red and blue, there's, I know when you put red and blue together, there's something about them because they're, uh it's something about how your eye perceives red and blue when they're beside each other is, like, supposed to be terrible, like, you're never supposed to do that.
Yeah, I think
Um,
because your brain wants to like make purple, doesn't it?
yeah, something like that, so you're not supposed to do that in art, but, like,
Right.
I guess I mean, it works for some things, I guess. Um, oh,
Mm.
man, I was gonna ask you something.
Yeah,
What was it?
it does look kind of
It
weird,
doesn't look
contrasty.
good.
Yeah, yeah, I can
Um,
imagine that.
let's see, I was gonna ask you something, what was it? I just lost it right out of my brain.
Something about flats.
No, it probably wasn't that interesting. Oh, but Kyle Ritter, he's amazing. That
Yeah, he
guy,
is
he's
definitely.
fantastic.
Yeah,
Um, he's a hashtag. He's a CG Delta boy now.
Delta Knight,
Delta Knight. That's right.
part of the Delta Force.
That's right.
Yeah, that's cool.
Um, so so you're thinking about, are you starting to figure out your tiers and stuff for your campaign? I know it's something you're thinking about
Uh,
talking about.
yeah.
We don't. I don't know if you want to talk about that on air either.
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't mind. Yeah, I mean, it's no secret that this map is what I'm working on. I mean, it's not that it's a secret, but I mean, not that a bunch of people know about it either. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I mean, this map is going to be like I'm planning on finalizing this and getting it printed out and getting it rolled up in a poster tube and send that with
That's super cool.
yeah, physical purchases that people on the mailing list purchase. So
Sweet. Yeah,
yeah.
we were pretty open with our tiers when we were designing them too, just to get people excited about them.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I got a couple of good feedbacks from the map or regarding the map. So I was like, okay,
Cool.
cool. I can go forward with this idea. I mean, this
Yeah.
was already something that I had done in a notebook a long time ago. And you can see that right here somewhere. Where the heck is it? Reference. So you can see here, this is something that I drew up like a long time ago. I don't know why it's so alphaed out. There we go. This is like a just a scan or something
That's
I did.
awesome.
So
That's cool.
I made adjustments over the years and stuff. This is pretty old, but I've pretty much kept it true. But
That's pretty
I
cool.
think I like took that continent out in this one because I was just like, it's too much. But yeah, that's basically it. Because I also did like an inset.
So that is part of, so where is this inset from though?
So right here, this label
Oh, I
here
see. I
is
see.
legit. These
Yep.
ones are just copies that I haven't edited yet. But yeah,
Gotcha,
that's
gotcha.
this right here.
Right there. Yep. Got
Yeah.
it. Cool.
So yeah, still working on it. I was talking to Neo in the chat a minute ago, talking about I don't know if I want to do like another inset up here
Uh-huh.
that shows like his home state because this is Derricos's home state right here, Sonos.
Okay. Cool.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to clutter the map too much. I've got
Yeah.
this, I got this ocean up
Yeah.
here, but it's like that's non-existent in the story. So
Yeah, it has nothing to do
yeah,
necessarily. Yeah. So I do kind of, I don't know. That's a tough one. I can see it both ways. I do love a good map. I told you that
yeah,
before. I love a
yeah,
good map. So that's a pretty sick wall hanger for sure.
yeah. I want it to be a big one. Something like it's like I think it's called Mercator projection or something when you've got the poles splayed out across the
Yep.
top.
Yep.
Yeah, so I really want it to look like an old style world map. I've got these filters on to give it that old yellowed scroll look, like kind of
Yep. Yep.
stained and dirty.
That's cool.
Yeah. I kind of want to see I wonder if there's like a paper cutter I could buy or maybe a pair of scissors where I could like get these edges like
Oh, I'm sure. I bet you if depending on the printer, they would maybe even do the
oh
edges
yeah.
for you. Like guaranteed they have some sort of thing they can run it through uh and do the edges really cool.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, Neo Valentine. It's called Hera. I've gotten a lot of questions about that in the past. They're like, "Well, is that Greek inspired or whatever?" And no, it was just a word that I came up with that was short and simple. I mean,
Mm,
obviously, I was probably subconsciously inspired by that word because there's a lot of Greek tragedy themes in the book, but it doesn't have anything to do with Hera. That's a word that they
mhm.
use to describe their planet, just like Earth. So I
Y
was just answering Neo Valentine's question there.
Yeah, it's always good to I think I read somewhere it's nice when you have like 2 syllable or 3 syllable
Hmm.
like names for stuff. It's specific things like people
Yeah, not
or
that one.
places sometimes. Yeah, that's a big one. If that's you had to say that every time, that's where you were going.
Yeah, if that was his like, if this was a prominent place in the book, I'd be pissed. Oh,
So
she's reading that.
but yeah, like, there's always there's like a method for just like there's a method for everything. Like
Hmm.
there's a method for doing like good names and stuff like that too. Like Star Wars has great names, and they're usually 3 syllable, I think.
Hmm.
Um, uh, but but I can see that totally in yours. And so let me ask you this: on like so underneath the English. Um, written is that like the language that you created for
Hmm.
the book?
Correct.
That's cool, man.
Yeah, so that I have a whole font for it that I made. It's called Ikranik right there. I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of
Okay,
small.
yep, I can see it. Yep. That's wild,
Yeah,
man.
cool.
I can't like that's a whole another thing too is like, like that's some people's jobs
Oh yeah.
like there's people out there that create languages for like film and TV and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I would love to have that job. This is a really cool thing that I did too with the font. Not to toot my own horn, but I just thought it was interesting. Maybe you can notice it, but basically, it seems simple, but it's like I don't know if you can see the word starts and ends with an S sound. So
Yep.
this is the letter for S sound, but it's different from this one.
Yep.
That's because I made like alternate glyphs. So basically, when you're typing,
Yep.
like lowercase s looks like that and uppercase
Uh
s looks like that, so it adds like an air of like handwritten sort of originality, and you can see that with other like
That's really cool. Yeah,
yeah.
you can see it with some like that one. Let's see.
See, I
Yeah,
didn't do it here, but yeah, see the
yep,
e
that
sound
one and that
here.
one. Yep,
Yeah, so if you were reading this language you would recognize it instantly, but to the lay person's eye it kind of adds a little bit more depth and originality to it
right.
because
I
you're not
have
just
a I
seeing
have a
it.
friend who is he's not fluent, but he's pretty good at Klingon.
Cool.
And he like can read the language and stuff like that, and I'm like that's a level of nerd I haven't ever gotten into, but I applaud you for that.
That's cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
I've always had a knack for like languages, and I like I like making them up, but this is the one that I've spent the most time on, obviously, because it's the most
sure.
important. But
Yeah,
yeah, I picked up Spanish like it was nothing. I speak it daily, and
that's cool.
yeah, I've learned tons of words from other languages. It's just it comes naturally. So I was like, why not? If it's easy to me, I mean, and it adds.
I think it's so cool, and I think that's something you should really talk about, like, when you start doing more and more streams,
Hmm,
is talk about, like, all the details on it, like, because you could very easily make it look like you did this, like,
mhm,
make it look like you put a language in there, and it might just be BS to just look cool, but I
mhm.
think it's really cool that you actually that you went through the process of actually doing that, is
Yeah.
awesome.
You know what I was gonna do when I had those dreams of or those delusions of grandeur of recording the VO for my video.
Right.
I was actually gonna do like a really cool uh like movie trailer style. It still is kind of movie trailer style, but I was gonna
Uh-huh.
have like Derricos talking to you in first person in his language.
Oh, right.
And so I was like, oh, this will be so epic and cool. People will be like, what the heck is this? Like, what's going on? And then yeah, that fell off, and then I started trying to do it myself, so it never took off. But yeah, I took like the first 5 pages of the story and translated them all into Ekronic and like recorded them. And I have the files somewhere. It's pretty funny.
That's crazy.
Just like me whispering in some other language, like I sound all like crazy.
That's wild. Looks like Nia Valentine has some questions for you
No,
too.
yeah, here we go. It's yeah, the language is dope. Thank you, Neo Valentine. How'd you make those characters for the language? Um, I'm assuming you're talking about the technical aspect, like how did like make a font? Um, God, what was that website called? It's some website where they allow you to upload a font template. Um, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty easy to use, but uh yeah, it's basically like you get a grid and it's got every single letter and character on the keyboard, and then you just draw in what you want and then upload it, and then they make a font for you. They canonize it all and
Wow.
make it look really cool. So yeah, I think it was glyphs code something, I can't remember. And what's the colon mean? Colon, oh, when there's like two little dots, that means, let me show you. Per, can't see names. Oh, where's Pronto? So basically, in Ukrainic, when you have a vowel sound, e, o, u, they don't want to waste time writing it out again, so they just put two dots. So when
Mm.
you see that there's one word in here, I can't remember where it is or which one it is, but basically you can just keep using them, and then you basically know like the first vowel sound that was in there, that's the one that's going to be repeated, or the one that has the most. So it's kind of complicated. It can get a little
Oh, okay.
custom,
So,
but
so if it was three e's in the word, it
mhm.
would be beside the e, the last e. Is that there? You
Yes,
go.
yeah. Let
Yeah,
me see. Right here,
yeah.
this would be
So it has three e's, correct?
right. Oh, this is two words though.
Oh, yeah,
Basically,
correct. I
if
gotcha. I
it's like a
gotcha.
double name like that, they
Yep.
put a dash in between, sort of like
Okay.
how we
Cool.
hyphenate things, but it
Yep.
really means like this is connected to this, like
Right. Yep.
literally. So basically, if you had um, E, I don't know, let's just make up a word. Oh no, there is a continent. I just not focused on it. Terere. It's like it's a terrible word to say. But basically, you wouldn't write it like that. You would write it like this, and you'd give it the little dashies.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So if you were a heron and who spoke Hikronic and you were reading this, you'd be like TERE because that was the
Yeah.
vowel.
Yep.
RE. Yeah. So
That's cool.
yeah. So there's Sonos. That's where I saw it. Yeah. So it's in Sonos right there. So you'd be like S O N O S. That's how you would. phonetically process that in your brain. I'm gonna try and do like this is just all gibberish right here, but
Oh yeah.
I'm gonna try and do like something in the background that like is sort
Have
of
it
coded.
have it ghosted in there.
Exactly, yeah, and then
Yeah.
have it like actually say something cool, and then maybe people could like find out what it says and
It's like,
decipher.
yeah, little Easter eggs.
Yeah,
Perfect.
maybe it could be like a thank you list of people's names or something. I don't know.
You could so look, you get it printed and that part is in invisible ink. So
Dude.
you have to like heat up the it's like in National Treasure and you have to heat
Yeah.
up the ink and you can see your name in the map. How
Local
expensive? That'd
news,
be the most
somebody's
expensive
house
map.
burned down because they
Yeah, right.
accidentally lit their map on fire that they bought from Cody Martinez.
A man calling himself Macho Dan caught himself and his house on fire.
Tragically, the mustache was lost.
I gotta grow it first.
Yeah.
Oh man. So look, I have this idea and I wanted to do this on my campaign and I was like, maybe Cody's the one to do this.
Okay.
So I thought could be really cool, but it is somewhat complicated.
Okay.
And so I was going to try to run this kind of promotional with Cal Jameson,
Okay.
but it just wasn't going to work with how our books like we were at different price points. So kind of one of the big things is you got to find somebody who's also launching around the same time as you. You
Sure.
have to be tight with that person, and you have to be able to, or you have to have a book or something at a similar price point. And so I was thinking you can make a special tier. Let's say it's you and whoever it is, like Professor X is putting a book out too, same time.
All right.
So both of you guys have a tier, and your comic costs $20.
Okay.
You're both putting it out at $20. But what you can do is, so if somebody buys Cody's book, buys Wisdom Comes at
Mhm.
$20, then what they also get is a code to the secret perk on Professor X's page, and so
Oh,
his X-Men book, you get 10% off of that one, right? So
okay.
okay, cool. You get 10% off Professor X's book, but Professor X also has the same thing for his, so that he gets like you would give 10% off for the person that he's kind of referred over to yours. So it's
Hmm.
kind of cross promotion.
Yeah.
It would have ultimately worked way better for me if Cal would have done that because he has like 500 backers,
Yeah.
um, but it didn't work out. He liked the idea. It didn't work out. But I always thought that would be kind of cool, a cool way to try and
Yeah. Cross
um,
promotion.
cross promote. I don't know. I always
Crazy.
really like trying to have fun with making campaigns. It's hard, but it's fun.
Right. So this would be, let's see, this is my secret perk that is, I don't know, let's say it's the actual secret perk, but like percent off.
Yep.
And I would say, how do people get this?
So like let's just say if they've signed up for your
Mailing list.
mailer, right? Mailing list, and you say
Yeah.
like, hey, just for the people that have signed up from a mailing list, here's this thing. If you buy my comic, then at this price point, and it could be your what's it called? It's like the perk you want people to look
Yeah.
at,
The featured one.
the featured perk, exactly. So you could say, hey, this is a featured perk. If you buy it at this price point, then you're going to get an email, and it's going to have a 10% off link to this featured perk on my friend's campaign here. And so you get what it could be 10%, it could be 5%, it doesn't matter, but something enough that's going to be like, oh man, well, dang, that's like my shipping right there. Okay, you know.
Mhm.
100% off. And but that's for real. I think a lot of people are like they'll buy a book and like they spend $15 on a book in
Yeah.
shipping, but like if they're adding on another book, they save their shipping or most of their shipping or something on the second book. Like that's not that that's not that crazy depending,
Mm.
but you're just going to have to be confident. um both people got to be confident that their campaigns are gonna fund. Obviously, it
Right.
won't work if somebody's campaign doesn't fund, but you're not necessarily out anything unless, except
Yeah,
uh,
really. Yeah, there's really no risk. I mean, you're just offering a discount, and that's only
right,
ever going to drive more sales. I mean, yeah,
right,
it would
right.
really hurt you if it's like you're coming down to it and it's like, damn, all these people are just getting discounts. It's like, yeah, but you're not offering like 50% off.
Yeah, if it's like you're losing $2 or $3, um, that I mean, still it's $2 or $3 per perk. But if you've gotten like 10 extra, you've made up that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Like
Yeah,
off
exactly.
of what you would have normally got.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was something I thought, and I wanted to try. It just didn't end up working out
No, that's
for
cool.
us, but it was just an
Good idea.
interesting idea.
Yeah, definitely, dude. I gotta look at who's coming up in August. I think Carl
Sweens, get
is.
on Sweens. Oh
Carl.
yeah, Carl O'Rowe. Man, work with Indie Comics Dave and Sweens. Those dudes are
Yeah,
they're gonna blow up.
definitely.
Um, but and I tell you what, man, I was thinking about it
Dynamic as well.
earlier. You definitely you definitely need to do. I don't know who's told you like if you should or should not do digital, but I think you should totally do some digital.
What's
Um,
that? What do you mean?
so digital perks, so people
Oh,
being able to
yeah.
buy your
Right.
comic digitally.
Definitely.
Uh, we were told not to do it
Yeah.
by a few people, but we've had people since then like message us and say thank you because they're in like Norway or
Yeah.
Australia or Canada
Yeah, we're
or
shipping
places where
will
shipping
literally
is
fucking
astronomical.
yeah. Yeah, no, I heard that too because I was like, maybe I shouldn't do digital because it's like, what's the point? And then I was like, no, because you know what? I've backed a couple digital projects. It's worth
Yep,
it,
right.
especially if you're strapped for cash, as I perpetually am.
All the
Um,
time, man. That's all.
yeah,
That's like right now. Unfortunately, that's like literally all I can afford is the digital sometimes.
yeah, yeah, exactly. I just like I get it. So I thought about it. I was like, yeah, I would offer one because just in case. It's not
Well,
like it's like
it
a moneymaker
yeah, and
scam or
people are always like, "Well, yeah, but you're watering down your product when you put it out there digitally."
something.
But I feel like I mean like it's gonna somebody could scan it and do the same thing. It could get out there digitally that way. I mean, there's so many ways that you can water down your product. I don't think that's necessarily a terrible thing to do.
No.
Is offer it that way. And you know what? If somebody shares it, like if somebody likes it enough to be like, "Hey, you should look at this sweet project." I'm kind of like fine with that, because that's just going
Yeah.
to help me on the next one if somebody really likes it.
Yeah. No, I feel that too. I don't feel any. I don't think there's anything wrong with offering a digital one. I just
Right.
I just want people to read it however they can, and if
Sure.
I can, yeah, if we can alleviate the price of like shipping or something, and people just sometimes they want a digital copy of it too. Like
Yep.
sometimes I used to do that a lot with things. I would just get the digital too, so I could read it, on the go. But
Yeah, I mean, I've had to do traveling and stuff for work before, so man, a digital, so I can just put it on the iPad or whatever, and I can sit on if I'm on a plane or whatever,
hell
I
yeah,
can I can just sit there and I can read some comics on the plane. I don't have to have Wi-Fi or, it's nice.
yeah. Sorry, Sweens, if you ever see this. Now,
He would love it.
Oddity is a homicidal maniac.
That's awesome.
Drawing over my notes. Oh, you know what I found today while I was cleaning up our room? I found that little comic I did for
Oh yeah,
your knockout perk,
the
dude.
knockout. But man, I would totally the knockout perk should have happened. We should have done
Yeah.
that. So you just do a knockout perk on yours. Match it in. If you get this much, Matcha will come and knock you out.
Yeah. It's happening
That
either
was
way. You can't
it.
escape it.
I laughed so hard. I remember I was driving and I pulled over and I read that thing and it made me laugh. So, and I was like going to a clinic, like I was getting ready to teach these guys, like it was a mountain bike clinic, and I was gonna teach him. And I was reading this thing, and I was laughing so hard. It made me smile all night.
That's
It was so
ironic because
good.
I literally pulled over to draw it.
That's great.
I think I was like driving or something, and I listened to like YouTube. No, I was parked in my car, and I was listening to YouTube, and I saw you posted that, and I was like, sometimes I get like inspired like that for some reason. I was just like, I
Sure.
gotta draw this like weird little idea I have out. So I drew that, and I was just like took pictures on my phone, just a bunch of crappy photos, but it was pretty funny.
That was so funny.
Yeah. Well, there you go. That's oddity.
Look at that.
I'm gonna auction this off.
That's right.
No, yeah, that's a very interesting idea. I'll have to reach out to some people, see if they would be down to do that. 'Cause
Yeah,
that'd be pretty
it
cool.
may or may not work. It may or may not work. It might be a terrible idea. I always say, like, for every solid, potentially good idea I come up with, I have like 1,000 really awful ones.
Yeah.
So that might still be awful. You'll find out if it ruins your campaign.
Nah, I don't think it would. I mean, like you said, like we were saying, that seems like a pretty low risk
Yeah,
thing in terms of like how much you're actually investing into it. You're not producing anything.
right,
You're not expending like time or energy to fulfill that perk.
right.
It's actually not even like a perk itself. It's like it's
It's
more
it's a
like
mar it's marketing. It's
exactly.
just a marketing a way to get drive more people to your goal. Like Mutt was okay with that one, and like I said, if Carl was gonna go for, or sorry, not Carl, Cal was gonna go for it, we
Yeah.
probably would have tried it, but it just it just wasn't gonna work with it because his book was like I think it was $25 before shipping, and so ours was $10 cheaper for the book, and
Mm,
it just didn't work out. The money didn't work out that way, so that's
right.
okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Yeah,
Um,
definitely a good idea. And you can save that for the future, like
oh yeah, sure,
plan it out more next time and like, you know what I
yeah.
mean? Yeah.
When Wisdom Comes Volume 2 comes out, and Hero Volume 2 is coming out.
Yeah. It's better believe it, brother.
That's right. I hope that yeah, we're already talking. We're hoping um we'll be ready to launch Volume 2 next, like maybe we'll probably try to do it next April.
Oh, cool.
Um, March or April, maybe. So
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see what happens. That's like we're gonna get everything out, get it in people's hands, have people be happy with it, and then we'll go for volume 2.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But what you have any other ideas? Any perk ideas?
Um,
I just that's my favorite part is looking at perks. I think
yeah, I
it's
really
really
do.
cool.
I really do enjoy that as well. I was thinking like a t-shirt with the logo. I mean, it's not like it's like super popular or anything, but I was thinking like something with like either well, I want it to be about the book, but I really like the logo I have for the
Oh yeah, your badass comics.
yeah, but that's
Yeah.
also like I pulled that from the story. That's actually like from the story. So that's why I used it for that logo. But I don't know. I can't think of anything else. Like I guess the Wisdom Comes logo, like just the logo type.
Mm-hmm.
And then I don't know. I mean, realistically, I could just ask Gabriel to draw something else, you know.
You know what you should do is you should make a T-shirt, but it should look like so it should be Wisdom Comes, right? It should be
Mhm,
your characters, and it could say Wisdom Comes on it,
mhm.
but it should be like in the style that somebody painted the side of like a '70s van, right? Like
Dude.
airbrush. How amazing would that be?
Oh my God. Like
And it could have it would be like the side of a like a fantasy inspired like big like one of those
dude,
vans
yeah.
that like people would like put shag carpet in and
Yeah, electric wizard vans.
yeah,
Yeah, dude.
exactly. That's how and it would yeah, I mean you could have like what it could have like I don't know your story yet, so but it could have
Yeah,
like a dude like a Derikos Galvin with like like a big sword and his hair's blowing in the wind and there's like
dude.
lightning striking his sword and there's like a dragon in the distance and like a unicorn or a Pegasus flying or so I don't know. Like it could be all this stuff and it just make it as epic as you possibly can and it could like look airbrushed. How amazing would that be?
like this,
I would
can
buy
my
that.
screen,
Yeah, exactly. His
you
cape
know?
is flying in the wind. I'd buy that
Yeah,
T-shirt in a second.
that would be cool. He and I actually have been talking about because I've got 2 other projects in the pipeline,
Oh,
but
cool,
but I can't, like, waste any mental energy on them right now because this is my first
dude.
venture, so
I totally 100% know what you're saying.
you know,
100%.
you're like, I'm coming, but, let's
Yes.
finish this first. Yeah, but yeah, I was talking to him about, like, doing some Star Wars style posters because you know those old classic Star
Yeah.
Wars posters, and
Yes.
I'm so good, like, this is a humble brag, I'm so good at thinking of those from, like, my own projects, and
Sure. Yeah.
I didn't think about, like, do you listen to, the band called The Sword?
Oh, yes. Yep.
Dude, like, that artwork, their album artwork for Wisdom
Yes.
Children works so
Exactly.
good because
Exactly.
it's so inspired by, like, Frazetta and the old Conan and stuff, so
Yeah, there you go. Like, so
yeah,
Frazetta kind of feel like epic in scale, epic in like a theme,
yeah,
and just look like I said, looks like you'd see on the side of this crazy like airbrush on the side of this crazy van. It would be like it would hit the right pop culture beats that people would. Yeah, you got a babe laying there in a bikini. Like it would hit the right things that
yeah,
people dig. Like because
yeah,
everything old is new again. 90s and 80s are like totally hot right now, and
yeah,
it would be a really cool uh like I think that stuff, like little things like that, are what gets a lot of people excited about some projects. Like just these little things that they're like it hits the right nostalgia bone, and
yeah,
they're like I gotta get it. I gotta get it because it does all that for me.
right.
Like, did you watch Stranger Things
Yeah,
3
definitely.
yet?
Oh,
To
yeah.
well, oh, I shouldn't say it. It's a spoiler. So
For season 3?
for season 3,
Oh, no,
have
I haven't even seen that yet, so
okay, I won't say it then. I won't say it.
no, but
But
I
like
know what you mean 'cause
this
I
is
know
there's
people
yeah,
oh,
this is
yeah,
not a spoiler what I'm about to say, but
sure,
like they are able to do that in that show, and that's what's so incredible about it. And if you can do that with like um one of your like a piece of your campaign, I think that really works. Like for us, we did that. Like Mutt did that Wolverine inspired cover, and
mhm.
people freaking love that thing.
Oh, he's standing on
Um,
the corpses.
yeah, and
Yeah,
it's like the whole. It looks like the Wolverine issue number one.
yeah.
Um, and we have another another inspired poster. I think we may do. So be on the lookout for that. It might be pretty sweet.
Hell yeah, cool. Yeah, that's a good idea. I gotta start, getting that. We've got the, like, I am Weasel, I am Hero. He's got this mask. Um,
Dude, do that T-shirt. I'll buy one. I'll be your first
like
customer if you
this?
do that
Heck
T-shirt.
yeah, dude. I'm gonna start putting that in motion because I just paid him for that cover design that I was showing,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and so that's getting finalized.
I like that cover,
I
man.
really
I think
like
it's
it, dude.
cool.
Yeah, it's a good, like, it's a good fit to me because it's like a personalized kind of thing. It's gonna look like an actual, like, book, and I know
Yep.
it's, like, super unconventional and weird, and it'll probably throw people off. But I mean, I'm not selling you this book for the cover. You know what I mean? Like,
Right, right, right.
I'm
No,
selling
but
you
I
the
I
story.
like this because you have like I think you had said that the book you have it planned out for how many issues or how long is it going to be?
Uh, it depends on how I tend to chop it up because this is chapter one, and it was only
Right.
supposed to be 48 pages. Now it's at least 60, and I'm
Right.
planning on adding a few more just to round it out.
Right. So
But
it's going to be it's going to be a big series though.
yeah, so
Yeah.
basically, like, if I had to ballpark it for you really, really quick in terms of chapters, it's probably going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, maybe 9 chapters.
Yeah, so but that's what I like about your cover.
Mhm,
It's because every chapter has it like they're similar looking, but it
mhm,
would be, one day when the box set comes out, right?
mhm, and the
It'll look
trade.
so sweet. Yeah,
Yeah.
sitting on the shelf with that cover like that, it would look crazy.
Yeah, definitely. That's what I'm envisioning, and as the long-term goal is this big, thick book that
Yeah,
you're just like, you know what? I'm gonna get back into this saga, and you open it up to your bookmark, and you're like, dude, what? You know, like you get back
that
into that part of it. So
yeah, it's a really satisfying thing when you have a big fat book like that with all those
yeah,
stories in it. That's
yeah,
cool.
definitely want that. Yeah.
Yeah, I dig
So,
it.
and I mean, my artist is we're stable. I haven't done too much work with Steve, but I love his colors, and he's my future forever choice for this book. It's
So
just like
so
pops.
you have who's your artist? I know you talked about who's your colorist?
Steve Cannon
Steve Cannon.
from Jack Irons.
Oh, very cool. I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
yeah.
Okay.
So
Dang. Legit.
it's kind of a big deal.
Kind
He's
of a big deal.
so good, dude. Look at that. He just added like those
Yeah.
water reflections. Like
Yep.
I gave him no notes on any of these colors, dude. Maybe like a couple just for like tiny nitpickings. And then I asked him, I
Yep.
had to send him back to him to recolor the caption boxes because I wanted them without for the promo video. And look what he
Uh-huh.
did, dude. He
Yeah,
put
he
like
has
a
like the fade in.
canvas, like a
Um
he put in like a canvas background to it. Yeah, and then my artist
yep.
like does this all custom. It's just so cool, dude. I'm working with two people who totally get it, and it's such a great feeling because it's like,
It's yeah, and it's when you find the right person that fits your campaign,
mhm,
like for like color or like we had to go through that with color.
mhm,
We tried 4 or 5 different colorists, and we had some that were really good, but they're incredibly expensive.
mhm,
So that's like it's very cost prohibitive for a big campaign. Like you're paying somebody $70 a page. Like that's just like I
yeah,
mean, and that's pro level, and that's what they're worth. Like don't get me wrong.
sure, definitely,
I wish I could pay our any colorist that much money because I believe that they're worth that.
for
But when
sure.
you're trying to run a campaign and you're trying to get it done, like every penny counts. But we when we got our guy Eugen, it
Mm,
like you finally find one and you see it what he's done with like Mutt's inks, and it looks so good, and like you are fine. It's like a big relief, like a load off of your shoulders
yeah,
to see that happen and for it to come together. But I think that would you say Steve is his name?
yeah, Steve Cannon.
Yeah, he does really good, and the thing I like about his, and you can see it in some of Jack Irons' artwork, is like anything that's like a glowy or like a light producing object is
Yeah,
always like done so well. Like he really gets
dude,
those
pops
things.
out, dude. It's crazy. This
Yeah,
is like I love this color in like
yep,
a comic or page. That's why I love your guys' colorist too, because like every time Mutt posts like a preview of it, or
yeah,
he used to always post like little screenshots of like that dude's colors, to like promo like the stretch goal and everything.
yeah,
And he would always use that shot of like Hero laying face down on the table and then the
yeah,
thing like booting up, and I was always like, dude, that's so cool.
yeah,
I love like when there's like a glowing energy field or power and it's like bright blue like that or baby
yeah,
blue. It's so
yeah,
badass. Reminds me of
yeah. Of what?
plutonium because I think
Oh,
plutonium
plutonium.
loves that color. Yeah.
Um, yeah, Eugen's pretty good at that stuff too, and for our book, we wanted it a little like grungy looking, like
Hmm.
the world is like kind of a like it's a Star Wars like dirty like used up kind of world
Sure.
because war's been happening, and
Yeah.
he like one of those things I like is when you zoom in on his particular stuff, he has and your guy does it too with like textures, and that's another sign of I think of really good colors because they'll see something and they'll add a texture to just deepen it, and he
Yeah.
puts these like all of our pages, like if there's anything like a wall or something, there'll be like it looks like liquid is like trickled down like it's got like damp or whatever, or there's like
Yeah.
water spots on things, and I
Yeah.
love that like extra little attention to detail,
Yeah. You're like
like,
looking at it and you're like, what?
and there's so
I
much to
didn't tell
look
you to
at.
do that. Yeah, no, it's cool, dude. I love it.
No,
He did great on these colors. Like,
yeah, those look great.
yeah, you can tell that there's like a grainy like sand filter or something over
Right.
everything. It's so weird. I love my
Yeah.
artists. Like detail once you get zoomed out.
I like his style. He's a little stylized. Like it's not photoreal. Like some guys want to get EVS is down to like he'll draw the rivets on like a I-beam a quarter mile away. But
Yeah,
but I kind of like a little bit more of a stylized feel anyway, personally.
yeah,
Like
me
that's
too.
like me. And I think for a fantasy book like yours, it works well. Um,
Mhm.
because there's going to be so much happening anyway. You can't get if you
Yeah,
get ultra detail. I mean, it would be like stupid amount of time.
yeah, I know. Seeing this is where we're starting to get into more details in these pages, and I know he
Yep.
does well with details. He does great like villagey buildings and stuff. So I'm really excited to see these pages because these are like the sad pages.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
yeah, this is where it starts to get all like dark. But like this panel, mm, like I want to see it, but I don't want to see
Yeah.
it.
Right. Right.
You know?
Yeah. Well, it's going to happen too.
Yeah, exactly. And then this one will be really cool. Lots of weapons and stuff stacked up on the sides. I really, really want to see that. But yeah,
Do you have plans? Like, are you planning on putting a bunch of like little Easter eggs and stuff in your comic,
um,
or are you gonna be more like kind of uh true to your world first before you start adding stuff like that in?
yeah, I would put it like that.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, especially for this first chapter. This is
Sure.
really like the setup, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Sure.
so I mean, this is like this first chapter is basically you, the reader's introduction to this crazy world. So it's got to be like,
Right.
but it's also got to be interesting and entertaining. So it has to have its own little arc, right? So it's like I did. I'll let you in on some stuff, even though we're freaking public and live. But there's a major facet of this story that happens in chapter one that you have to look out for.
Okay.
That
Cool.
that if you miss it and then you get to the end of the book, you're gonna kick yourself for not like noticing it in chapter one.
Cool.
You know what I mean?
Cool.
And
Yeah.
you're not,
Yeah. No.
yeah. And there's
Yeah.
no hint
I
in this chapter what it is at all. Like there's no
I
like
I,
dialogue or anything about it.
I like that stuff that comes full circle where
Yeah,
you're like, oh my god, I
yeah,
cannot believe that. Like that was from the that was the thing. Like
yeah, yeah.
that's pretty
I told
cool.
my artist about that a few months ago when I was polishing up the wiki that I made for the book,
That's
and
awesome.
and yeah, and I showed him that the epilogue basically, and he was like we chat on Discord, and he was just like he was you know it tells you when somebody's like typing. He was like set on that for like 5 minutes,
Oh yeah,
and he came back and he was like, I don't even like
I can't. I
what?
don't even know what to say.
Yeah. And I was like, what? I mean, it's not that crazy, but he was like, but he pointed out some things that I didn't notice, you know, about it. So I was like, oh yeah, I could kind of see how that's crazy. But yeah,
Right.
I'm a big like anti-spoiler guy. Like
Oh yeah, no, that's
not
fine.
like a purist or anything, but like I think I mentioned on your stream or somebody's stream recently when I was talking to them that like when there's like something I'm super interested in, like oh yeah, I was telling you guys about Hero because I was like, yeah, I stopped reading it like halfway through because I was just like,
Yes,
I don't
yes,
want to
yeah,
spoil it. I don't
yeah,
like if any of that's in the book, I don't want to read it now. I
yeah.
want to absorb the experience fresh.
Right.
And then you guys, you know, told me about it,
Yeah.
but yeah, that was
Mutt gives. He's the one. He always gives too much away. I'm like, why
mhm.
are you saying that right now? You should not be saying that. Like he'll be drawing. He'll like be like, I'm gonna stream and just draw some stuff, and you should come on and just talk. I'm like, okay, fine. And I'll come on. I'm like, why are you drawing that right now? That is part of the story that people need to read. They don't need to see you drawing it right now.
That's funny.
He gives away too. Sometimes he get, and I'll purposefully be like, maybe we shouldn't talk about this. Like he'll start talking about whatever it is, and I'll be like,
Mhm.
maybe we shouldn't talk about this thing right now. And he'll be like, oh, you mean this that we're this thing? And I'm like, oh
You
well, now it's
blank.
out of the bag. You just totally ruined it.
Dang it, Mutt.
I know.
You just gotta give you permission to mute him or something.
I gotta like go on ahead of time and be like, look, off topic points are these.
Yeah.
Don't talk about these because I want it to be. But Yeah. Anyway, he's who he is. Well, some
Loose
stuff's bound
cannon.
to get out.
Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, this is the wiki that I made
Oh,
up
man.
for. This is strictly for my artist, so he has access to this, and he can see like these. I don't know if I should. Yeah, see,
You
these
don't
are all
show any
these
of
are
that.
flush
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So
Cool.
basically, this is how I had it broken down at first, with
Wow.
3 chapters per act, and
Yeah.
then epilogue. But
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I think Act One is going to maintain. I mean,
Okay.
even though I had
Cool.
to increase Chapter One by what, to 50% size, yeah, I think it'll maintain that structure. I think it's a good
Okay.
structure. It'll keep me organized, and
Yeah.
it'll also limit me because I was I was dead set on having it 48, and then
Yep.
as I was rewriting it and polishing it up a couple months ago, I was like, dude, there's no way I can fit all this into 48.
Right. Yep.
And yeah, I stretched some things out because it's, there's not a lot happening, but it is the inciting incident. It is the kickoff for the main story. So I
Right.
really wanted it to be sort of grandiose and
Well, that first one should be that way too. Like you got to hook people in that first volume.
sure,
But it and also doing it the way you're doing it makes it sort of collectible. Like if like not that it's gonna be this like it's not gonna be Action Comics #1. It's not
sure.
gonna, or I mean maybe it will. Who knows? But what I'm saying is like still people will want to have that completed volume. They
Mhm,
want to have that completed uh, like book, set sitting on their shelf.
mhm.
Um, and I think that's kind of cool how you do it in those volumes. Like, and we're just doing our book is 3 volumes of at least 48 pages per. Three stories, self-contained for
Right.
Hero. I mean, it could continue, but that's what we have planned for like his first kind of arc.
Mhm.
Uh, and um, not quite that's big, but this is fantasy books typically are a little bit wider scope, grander. So
Yeah,
that
definitely.
makes sense.
Yeah. No, I feel you. I think that's a good call though too, is to give it like a three part, um like a 3 act system.
Yeah, I mean um, we have a plan. I have kind of written out the three acts and what how the character changes and what's going on in these acts. So it's going to be pretty cool, and there's a
Mhm.
lot that's to be introduced. So it may grow, but as of right now, that's kind of how it's sitting.
Okay. That's pretty cool. That's good news because um are you guys gonna do like a collected version at the very end?
Yeah, we'll probably do something like I'd like to do something like that, like a big. You could get like a hardbound or like a large trade, situation would be really cool to have. Um, I'd like to do something in the future like that. It might have to wait, like you get all 3 of them, and then maybe we'll do something different and come back to it or something like that. I don't know.
Mhm.
We have we probably have like 2 or 3 other projects for the future that are potentials to work on next, but we we don't know. Mutt has a couple things he might work on himself too. That it's just like projects he's had for a while.
Yeah.
But we'll probably always have something going as a team, just because we work so well together and we know each other so well. Um,
Yeah, that's important too. You guys you don't wanna like unnecessarily like change it up, you know what I mean?
yeah, and
That's
and we get each other we get each other's quirks, like because for me, like I've talked about it before, but like I have always been like uh I would what is it, how do I want to say it? When I was on crowdfunding and comics, I told them this, like I am probably the worst writer for a lot of artists to like give them, because I don't write in a typical like scripted fashion. I can't do it. Like
Mhm.
I am the most ADD guy you're ever going to meet, and I just can't do it that way. So for Mutt though, it works. Like he knows me, he knows my thoughts, and a lot of there's a lot of trust between us. So I can I can throw this like massive whatever down, and he gets what I'm putting across.
Yeah.
Whereas like if I was doing like another professional artist, it might not work that way. And so I am currently like part of one of the things I'm trying to do to like professionally push myself is write scripts. Like just even like I'll come up with an idea like Dan's going outside and cutting logs, and like I'm like making my like just as an exercise to make myself learn how to write it in script format. Like Dan and Cody are going to cut logs. What happens? And I like, okay, I need to make this 3 pages long, so that's 6 sides. So I got to fit it. Like this is a comic, and I do that.
That's a good idea, dude. That's
and like
yeah,
exactly. And so I'm trying to do that because at some point I will and will need to work with someone else, you know. And so that's why I'm doing this. Like we're gonna probably always have something working, but it's not like an exclusive. It's not like we're married.
yeah.
We'll probably both like branch out and try to do more if we can, and if we're popular in our respective areas. So.
Yeah, no, I get that. That makes sense, of course.
But
when you guys have a falling out over mustache related.
Yeah, right. Because he's gonna make me grow a mustache.
And that's cool too. Don't you guys live in the same city or town?
Oh yeah, we're like we're probably 20 minutes away from each other.
Oh, that's awesome, dude. Yeah. I would kill for that, man. Like to actually sit down with somebody and like go somewhere and sit down and shoot ideas in person. It makes all the world a difference.
Well, we treat it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We treat it like you know, we do most of our stuff via like Hangout.
Sure.
But we do a lot of like the bullpen, and we'll go somewhere like we'll go to my shop at night, or like his office at night or whatever, and we'll just basically like okay, you know, sit down, we get the whiteboard out, all that stuff, and we just start working hard on the project, or like what do we need to do, like and do it that way. And it's really nice to be in the same room as somebody, and without technology between you.
Yeah, exactly. See, I would kill for that because my artist is in Italy, so it's like every morning I'll get a few messages from him about something, and then by the time I wake up and actually read them, he's like ready for bed. And it's like when I get to work, dude, there's like I don't touch my phone until it's lunchtime because I am on a roof, I'm in the sun, and it's like it's just not viable. I gotta get work done.
Yeah.
And by the time I get home and go to bed, he's waking up at like 10 or 9 at night, or 11, 12 even, and he's shooting me stuff, and I'm like, I gotta get up at 5, dude. I can't be doing this. But yeah.
So you're kind of like me in the sense, like when I get to work, most days I don't have time to have my phone, and I'll sneak out. Like if I'm like if I have to be in a vehicle or whatever, I'll stop and I'll be like, all right, I'm gonna give myself 10 minutes, and I can like do some social media and some promotion or whatever. But I gotta be quick about it, because like today I probably, oh god, I don't even know. I mean, we put so I run a company. We do professional guide service, and we do like shuttles and rentals for like kayaking and mountain biking, stuff like that. So like right now it's like 1,000 degrees where I live. Like it is so hot, it's ridiculous. And so everybody wants to be on the water. So all day I am like taking people and dropping them at the river, or I'm really lucky when somebody's like, hey, we need somebody to take us down the river. And I'm like, well, shucks. All right, let me get my bathing suit on. And I'm able to take somebody down the river. But I'm doing this all day long, and you can't have your phone on a kayak. I mean, you can, but you risk throwing it.
Yeah.
It's tough, man. And Mudd'll hit me up with a bunch of stuff, and there'll be like 15 messages, and I'll get back, and he's like, why aren't you answering your phone?
Because I'm white water rafting.
Because I'm
The Smith
I know.
family right
I'm
now.
having fun. I'm working, man. I'm on this kayak working now. Seriously, it is not as fun as it sounds sometimes.
I bet.
I'm like, get me out of the sun, jeez.
Right? Yeah, I feel the same every day. I'm just like, yeah, man, the worst feeling in the world is putting on sunscreen and feeling like a greasy, like oiled up
Oh,
ham.
dude, I know
And I
exactly how you
have to
feel.
do it, otherwise I will be miserable for the rest of the day and
Yep,
then the following night. And it's just the worst. It just like infuriates me, that
yep,
feeling. And I just hate it so much. And I have to do it every
yeah.
day. I'm
I
not
put
getting
so
used to it.
much
It's the
on.
weirdest thing.
Yep. Yeah, for me, like, so I am 100% bald, like shave my
Yeah.
head bald.
Yeah.
And so you got hair, so you have some protection, but I
Mhm.
like put it on my head. I still wear a hat, but I put it on my head anyway. And the worst is when it's so hot and it's just running off, like, and there's no hair to absorb water.
Oh,
So
yeah.
just sunscreen sweat runs into your eyes and you can't see anything.
Oh,
And
then
it's
you
1,000
really
degrees
you really
outside.
must use sweatbands then.
Dude, I have to. I have
Yeah.
to.
Yep.
Well, I go through a hat like a month. Like I always wear hats. Like I have
Yeah.
a baseball hat, but they get so disgusting. I just have to throw them away. So luckily, our shop, like we have, like, we have merchandise or whatever, and so like, I'm like, earned another hat. You take out
Work
enough
expense,
people,
yeah.
you can grab another hat.
Yeah.
So
Oh, you know what's
it's
a good brand, dude? Columbia. I use a
yeah,
Columbia hat for work. It's like
okay.
full brim all the way around,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and, that thing is indestructible. It's super light, and it feels super cheap, like
yep,
it would be ripped or destroyed immediately, but
yep.
that thing protects your whole head. It has vents up top so it can breathe. Light material, doesn't hold water, but it does get really sweaty. But dude, I throw that thing in the washing machine with clothes and it's good
And
as
it's
new.
comes out great.
Yeah,
That's
it's
awesome.
perfect. Maybe 20,
So
30 bucks for a good quality hat and you're set, dude. I haven't bought a new hat in 2 years.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I recently got it's like a straw, like a hand woven, like it's like an Asian hat. It's like one
Yeah,
of those
rice
big
farmer.
round ones. Yeah, like exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And and I've been wearing that recently, like especially if I'm on a boat or something like that.
Mhm.
And my coat, well, like the owners, they're kind of laughing at me, but I'm like, you know what? I am not getting skin cancer on my neck and my head. Number one, and number two is way cooler than a baseball cap. So whatever, I
Don't
don't
you
care.
judge me for protecting my skin.
I know,
Yeah, that's funny.
but yeah, it's all, man. You gotta. You're in California, right?
Yes, unfortunately.
Cool. Yeah.
Not
What
cool.
do you have, like? Well, you don't have to tell me, but do you? What area are you in? If you're
Northern
comfortable.
California, wine
Okay.
country.
Okay. Cool. Cool. I've been to let's see, Monterey
Oh, I
a
used to
couple
live
of
there.
times. Oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
lived there
beautiful
for
up
about
there.
4 years when I was a kid. Yeah,
Yeah, it's beautiful.
awesome.
So they had the Sea Otter Classic. I went there for
Mm.
bike company flew me out there a couple times. It was really cool.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
then
Did you go in 2000,
I
I
was
wanna say.
probably 11 and 12 was probably my last two. Was
Oh,
my
okay.
last trip. One
I
of those.
worked for some company that did something for that, but I didn't get to go, but that was, like, 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh yeah. Who'd you work for that was that
It was for, like, the event management company, so, like, they would
oh gotcha.
set up, like, all the facilities and everything
Yeah.
for like, the
Yeah.
attendees, I guess you would call
Yeah,
it.
at the on the at the racetrack at Laguna.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
yeah, I was like, "Oh, cool, I'll get to go," and I didn't get to go, and then somebody brought me back a T-shirt.
It
I
was
was
cool,
too
man.
excited.
It's a cool event,
Yeah.
but like so it's this, like the biggest, like, mountain bike trade show in the world, but like the funny thing is like in Monterey, like there's good riding in Monterey, but
Mhm.
it's not great riding. It's like mostly open fields. Like there's so many open, like all that BLM land is all open fields.
Yeah.
And it's just funny, but it's beautiful. Like that place is absolutely beautiful. I was trying to think where we went. Where else I went. I've been to Santa Cruz.
Okay.
And rode. That place is beautiful. Saw
Yeah,
some banana slugs. That was cool.
dude. Yeah, I saw some slugs up north of where I am. They're all out there, man. It's
The
crazy.
big old banana slugs, man.
Wow, as big as your
uh,
hand.
they're so gross. Um, and where's L.A. Obviously, I've been to
Mhm.
L.A.
Sure.
Um, and what is it? Santa Monica is pretty cool. I rode over in Santa Monica. Big Bear was really cool. I rode in Big Bear once.
Okay. I used
Um,
to live in Southern California too.
yeah, and is it? Oh, man, um, there is. Oh shoot, what is the name of that beach? It's south of L.A. and it's like where all the rich people live there on the hill.
Santa Monica? No, Venice.
Is it? No, is it? But it's south of LA, so it's like Venice is like on the coast of LA, right?
Long Beach,
No, it's
Huntington
is it
Beach,
Laguna? Is
Newport,
it Laguna
Newport Beach,
Beach?
Laguna Beach. Yeah, I think that's a
It's
thing.
like a town like south of LA.
Yeah, I think it's like Orange County or something.
Yeah, it's a little south of Orange County, I'm pretty sure. Anyway, I went there. That place was wild.
Hmm.
Yeah, let's see. Oh yeah, you got that up. Oh man, San Jose. I flew into San Jose one time.
Hmm. I hate that whole area.
All I saw was the airport, and then we left.
Yeah. Huntington Beach,
No, it wasn't Huntington Beach. Was it Huntington Beach? I don't know.
Newport Beach,
No, it's
Laguna Beach.
Laguna Beach. That's where
You're
it
right.
was.
Yeah.
Laguna Beach. Um, the coolest thing about Laguna Beach is they have this. Um, they have top of the world. See top of the world over there. It was to your right. Um, it was go scroll out a little bit. Scroll out. So it says top of the world up there. See that? So what you do is
Whoa.
you're in town, and so you ride. So yeah, you start up there, and you ride down these crazy bike trails to this route that goes through the canyon that brings you into town, and then
Mhm.
there's a bus that picks you up, and you put your bike on the rack, and then you ride back to the top. It's incredible.
Oh, that's cool.
It's really neat, and you're looking at the ocean the whole time.
Oh, that's so cool.
That was pretty cool. I
That
had
is
fun out
cool.
there.
That's something I want to do.
So, other than that, I like California's fun to visit, but I couldn't live there. You
Yeah,
saw it
no,
the
I'm
other
glad that I'm glad that you have only pleasant experiences of
day.
this
Yeah,
state. Because man, dude, every time I have to go into San Francisco, I feel like ending it all.
yeah.
Just want to drive off the Golden Gate Bridge. It's insane.
Oh man.
Yeah,
So we're gonna be out there. I'm gonna be in California. Um,
cool.
probably in it's probably gonna be early next year at some point. Um,
Cool.
so we're gonna be in the Lancaster area, which is
Lancaster, cool.
Lancaster, which is north of LA.
Mhm.
Um, so that's probably nowhere near you, but if it
Not
is,
at all.
I was gonna say if it is, I'll totally meet up and buy you a drink.
Dude,
Uh,
hell yeah, that would be awesome. You keep me posted on that because we still have friends down in SoCal. I mean,
yeah.
a layover in Lancaster is nothing because basically when we go to SoCal, we take the 5.
Okay. Cool.
So
Yeah.
we're going right here from
Yep.
Gorman to San Fernando. So
Okay.
that's like
Cool.
that's nothing. Yeah,
Sweet. Yeah.
I'd be,
So
I'd be
yeah.
down
So
to roll over there.
my wife's her best friend, her husband works for.
Did you say your wife's husband?
Sorry. Yeah, that's me. So my wife's best friend's husband.
Oh,
There we
okay.
go. He works for the I guess it's I don't even it's one of the like they work on the stealth bomber. That's what he does.
Oh, okay. Like Northrop or something.
Yep, in Northrop. That's
Cool.
exactly who it is. Anyway, that's a
Cool.
lot about California. So
Yeah, that's not bad. What state are you in?
I'm in Virginia, as
Oh
far away
yeah,
from California as you could get.
I know nothing. I know nothing about Virginia. I've
And
been.
I'd love for you to come to Virginia. I
Oh
would show
yeah,
you.
man.
It's a beautiful, beautiful state. I'm in southwestern Virginia.
Go back Kentucky.
So like go see there's a Blacksburg area. If you see there's Blacksburg and then there's Roanoke, and that's kind of where I'm near that.
Roanoke.
Yeah,
Cool.
near Roanoke.
Love that word. That's
Yeah. It's an Indian word.
I've heard. Yeah, that's cool.
So
Oh,
uh
cool.
so yeah, like I'm right surrounded by all the national forest.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's cool. I like that. That's what I look for when I want to go places. I look for this
yep.
green stuff. I'm like,
Yep.
is that worth going to? Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah.
well, that's weird. That's where my grandpa's from.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just landed on that. I looked at like a photo of their old house that he used to live in like the 30s. And it's like an empty lot.
Oh wow.
Doesn't exist anymore.
Gone.
It was like one of those old floodplain
Yep.
wooden shack on stilts kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool, man. Yeah, I've been up north to Oregon. Haven't been to Washington yet, but other people have that I know. Nevada,
Yeah.
Utah, and Arizona.
Utah's cool. Arizona's cool.
Yeah, just recently went to Salt Lake for the first time, then
Oh
came down
wow.
this way, hit up St. George, passed through Vegas. Used to live in Yuma here.
Okay.
When I was a kid, I mean, it technically counts. My grandma took me cross country to Wyoming
Okay. Awesome.
and brought me back. So
So
technically, I'm in Wyoming. I'm in
my
Wisconsin too.
my boss right now, he left yesterday and he is in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. He used to work up there and he's there for his brother's wedding, which is pretty
Cool.
cool. Um but yeah, I've been to a bunch of states. I drove one time in 24 hours. We left our house in Virginia and drove all the way to Boulder. We made it in 24 hours. That was a
Damn.
fun trip. That was a grind, man. Uh,
24 hours?
we did it in 24 hours. It was three of us, and we just shared. Like one person slept, the other person stayed away for the driver, and then the driver drove, and then we just swap every fill up.
That's
So
crazy.
we went straight like Virginia through so we did Tennessee, and then it went kind of north into Missouri and then Kansas, which is the worst state ever to drive through. I wanted to shoot myself. It was terrible. I mean, it was absolutely awful.
Was it?
And then into Denver and then finally into Boulder. It was pretty brutal.
Huh. Looks like a fun drive, dude. Damn, I was pretty close to Colorado.
Yeah,
I love
we
road
and then we've done a like road tripping through the West though, like past the Rockies was really cool.
Yeah.
Uh, I've only done that. I mean, we've done it a few times now, but man, it was fun. I love that country. It's beautiful.
Hmm. Yeah, this whole stretch of road right here was just phenomenal. North South Utah right here.
Yeah, yeah.
Dude, there was still snow on the mountains a couple months ago when we took that
Oh,
trip.
I
It was like, what?
guarantee it. Guarantee. I bet in Salt Lake there's still some spots where the very biggest peaks would probably have some.
Yeah, yeah, there was a bit of snow in there. Yeah, we passed through there, and then we came south from there, and yeah, all the way down till you started getting down here. But yeah,
Yeah,
that's all beautiful country right there.
in Moab.
I really yeah, Moab too. I'm very interested in going to the East Coast, mostly because the majority, like the most common road trip I've ever done is like from here
Uh,
down to here to San
yeah,
Diego.
yeah,
So that is like 500 something miles
yeah,
one
yeah.
way.
That's huge. Yeah,
So I'm like, I want to do that over here and pass through like 17 states. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like I
yeah.
want to experience that.
So like I can get to New York in like I think it's like 8 hours or something like that.
Crazy.
Which is like so fast. I can get to I don't know. I feel like there's just a little bit more closer on the East
Hmm.
Coast.
Yeah,
Like California is so big.
it is. It
Uh,
takes the whole freaking coast.
yeah, I mean it's so big, and even Oregon is big. Like
Yeah,
Oregon's huge too.
yeah.
That whole big coastline.
Hmm. Yeah, when we took our honeymoon up there, we went up this way and then came back through the middle, and it was just
Nice.
like it's so crazy, dude. Like when you go up this way, you're like, okay, this looks like Oregon, and it's just forests and just beautiful woodlands and everything. And then you come back this way, and it's just like crazy, weird desert,
Yeah. Yeah,
like
it's like Bend is in a high desert or something like that.
yeah, yeah, high desert. I think that yeah, that's the term because they have one of those down here. I think it's around here. Where is it? Derville? I don't know. It's called like Hemet or something like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, right there. That's a high desert. It snows there, but it's like a desert. It's so weird.
Um, one of my favorite things I've ever done is in Utah, in Moab. You can get a shuttle up from Moab to the La Salle mountain range, which is like 30 some miles outside of Moab. So like, let's see if you can see La Salle. So they're right there. So like, so it is. I guess it's South Mountain is where I guess that's where you start. And so basically, you cruise from like like if you look at that picture, that snow cap mountain right there, like that's where you start. You're above tree line, like you're up in the mountains, and you basically cruise out of the mountain into like you go through the aspens, you go through like the high desert, and like scrub trees. Then you go down and like you're starting to see less trees and more shrubs, and then you get into there's like almost no shrubs and it's just boulders and sand, and you go all the way down to the Colorado River.
That's so
Um,
cool.
you like get on your bike and you just do it in a day. It's mostly downhill. It's like one of the coolest experiences. It's so
You're
cool.
coming this way, going west.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Oh, that's
going
so
down
cool.
into Moab. It might be one of those other mountains that are closer to the actual town, but like,
Sure.
oh, there's Hole in the Rock. Yeah, um,
Where is it?
it's called Hole in the Rock right there.
That's it.
Uh, no. I was just laughing
Oh,
because I've seen it. I've been
that's
there.
funny. That's
But
so cool.
it must be north of that spot. But
Man's
uh,
Peak.
yeah. Anyway,
Horse
it's cool.
Mountain.
Yeah. You go down and you go around the big rims, like there's like so Castle Valley, I think, is part of it, and you go around oh shoot, Porcupine Rim.
Cool.
I love maps. Maps are the best.
Yeah. I'd really like to someday get like a bitmap or bump map like this for Hera to actually do terrain and like a topographical map,
Yep.
like
Um
do the lines.
we have you seen the ones that are like they're pressed, they're plastic, but they've been um like vacuum formed, and so they're like raised 3D.
Yeah, I think I've seen those.
I have a couple for our area here, and they're really cool. I think Nat Geo makes them potentially. Like there's one down to the if you get down,
Topographical relief maps. Yeah, that's cool.
exactly a relief map. That's exactly the right word.
Yeah.
They're really cool. So I have a couple of those for our area. That's probably a Nat Geo right there.
That's so cool. I think it is. I feel dude, I don't have a memory of this, but I feel like I've touched one of these somewhere. Like I know what it's made of.
Yeah, it's just like thick. It's just thick plastic.
Yeah.
Uh, I have a couple, and they're neat. Like we had them hanging at the shop, but there's like we have like no wall space. We have crap hanging everywhere, so
It's cool.
that would be sweet, man.
Yeah, like I still, like I said, I want to do like another version of this, but like without all the words, and maybe like have like, or no, I was telling Neo Valentine about this before you came in. Like I want to do like little little doodles on the map of like like this is where the capital is. Like draw a castle here,
Sure, yeah.
and then like do that, and that's Laren,
Right.
and then maybe draw a little village with some huts. I don't know if like, what do you think? Like, should I do that on the back, have like a two-sided map, so you could flip it to this and see where all the things are, and have it nice color. Like,
So, are you doing on this map, like how you have the mountains drawn? Are you going to
mhm.
keep it like that, like it's a hand drawn thing, or are you going to make it more like it was, it's like a formatted map?
Well, yeah. See, I wasn't sure. So basically, that's why I kept those mountains on their own layers, so I didn't have to like deal with
Yeah.
it if I didn't want to. So,
If you're going to keep it, like if you're going to keep it like it's just a map, like somebody got this map,
mhm,
in like one of these big cities somewhere,
mhm.
that's cool. But if you do have like if you have the mountains in there, I think it's kind of cool making it look like it's hand drawn, like maybe Derrickis Galvin, like he drew it in there himself or whatever, right? Like
Right.
his map, and he's like adding things he's seen.
Yeah,
Uh,
that Neo was saying something like that too. Yeah, I was because I mean, this isn't professionally, or I didn't really spend a lot of time on this.
right, right,
But I just drew these in for reference, so I knew how to color it. But yeah, I was like, this looks weird if I don't have mountains, because then it just looks flat and
right.
boring.
Yeah,
And
you
the
have to
streaks are brown. Yeah.
figure out how to make it have shape.
Hmm.
I kind of like the mountains person. I kind of like it. It's like an artifact, like
Hmm.
have it feel like it was an artifact that somebody used.
Yeah, because I mean, it already looks hand drawn with the brush style. You know what I
Right.
mean?
So
Yeah.
I kind of like the drawing like the little castle in, or it might
Mhm.
be you could even, that could be like a little Easter egg. He could, it could be like he could like draw like a dead animal and be like where I killed the whatever, like
Mhm. Yeah, I was
like
thinking about that too. Yeah,
or
because
you could like it could be like uh where like that thing where I did that thing with like put a name in there that means nothing to somebody looking at the map, but in the book it's like an important person or something, like, I don't know.
oh,
Like a
dude.
way to kind of like tie it in with the book potentially,
Yeah.
um, might be kind of cool.
You know what I was just thinking, because you said that, like, instead of doing the map like it has a different version on the other side, what if like basically on the back of the map you have like, I'm not gonna, well, yeah, I'll do it. This will be a pain to redo, but basically on the back of the map it's like paper again,
Yep.
but it's like, what if it's like his little like scribbles and writings,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
and like
Yeah.
his little sketches, because that's one of his character traits, is that he can actually draw.
Okay, cool.
That's like part of it. So like he's like, yeah, I killed this monster and blah blah blah, and he's
Yeah.
like scribbling all over it, and then we just fill it out with like little like notes
Yeah,
and
it'd
scribbles,
be
and
sweet. Well, that would be really cool. Like I
you
said,
know,
you could put, it could be Easter eggs about the book without being in the book, like without
yeah,
like taking detracting from the story or whatever. Or you could, yeah, like yeah, under this tree, like
that's where I
that's
left
where
the
I,
thing.
yeah, that's where the sword is. That's where I left the thing. Like
Yeah,
or like 3 steps from the tree, turn right, like under the cow skull, like that's where it is or
yeah,
whatever, and
huh.
that'd be sweet, man.
Yeah, but it'll all be handwritten in Equinix, so you'll have to like decipher it through
Dude,
the,
that's perfect, dude. That's perfect.
you
And
know.
then, you have the alphabet needs to be somewhere or what it could be on your website, right? Like that's a
Yeah.
perfect way to get on your website. And you go on these streams and be like, you look on the back of the map. Now it's in a different language. So, you need to go on the go on the website, you need to decipher what it says, like, and it could say like whatever, like suck a fart or something like that. But it'd be like it'd be fun for people to like. They'd be like, "Oh, suck a fart! Dang, you got me!" But,
You fools.
but it could say like anything,
Yeah,
Um,
no, that's a good idea. Yeah, maybe like that faded writing on the front side that I was showing you earlier could have something to do with that.
sure, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
cool. Yeah, I really like that stuff. That kind of reminds me of like like the old like radio shows where you get your decoder out and you
Yeah,
have to
exactly.
like, yeah. Hmm.
Be
Obviously, I'd have to hire Gabriel to do the sketches, but you. You would do that.
You should do those sketches. Like, I think
No.
dude, it would be cool for you to do the sketches because you can actually draw pretty well. So it would be kind of neat for you to, I mean, take your time on them, right? You don't have to have it done right now, but it would be kind of cool for you to do them because, like, you're like almost like, for all intents and purposes, you're a Derricos Galvin, right? Like, you're him. You created him. You created this world. You should do this.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah, that makes sense. I could try and do it.
I mean, worst case scenario, you're like, I don't like it, and you or even, you know what, like, I know he's the artist. I don't, maybe he might take offense to this, but, like, pull somebody else in and be like, "Hey, I want you to do this piece," and it's
Mm,
like line drawn. I want it to look in this format, like a sketch. Because you get another artist to do something like that. And it might be kind of cool because it's not the same. Like, it's not the same art. Like, it doesn't look like,
yeah.
it might be kind of neat to have somebody who's not the same do it.
No,
Kind
I
of.
feel I feel you on that for sure, definitely. Because there are people who are very specialized in that pencil style sketching, and he is
Yeah,
not.
yeah,
As far as I know, he's
yeah,
100% digital. I know he does do some traditional stuff, but again, he's an easygoing dude. He wouldn't care if I hired
yeah,
anybody else to work on this thing. So
yeah. But, like, hire somebody cool to, like, I'm trying to think of, like, somebody I know that does really good, like, pencil sketch
yeah,
looking stuff like that. But hire somebody cool in the community to do that part, and it might even be like a little, uh, like, thing to put in the campaign, like, oh, and such and such did this, cool, like, some extra content that's going to be on the back of the map of Hera,
ah,
like that. Like, there's all kinds of little ways to just set yourself up like that for people to be more excited about it, I think.
yeah, definitely. Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. Hmm.
It should say "suck a fart" somewhere on it.
I'm gonna work that in, dude.
To put that
But
in there.
it's gotta be, like, the hardest thing to find. It's gotta be, like, impossible. Like, scholars are gonna dig up this book in 100 years, and, like, that's
They'll
when
be
they figure it
studying it,
out.
and they'll be like, "What? This cannot be what it says."
"Teacher, what's a fart?"
It's a
Like,
fart.
we've abolished farts in the future.
It's a primitive construct. That's funny,
Uh,
man.
yeah, that's a good idea. Definitely gonna work that in somehow, or something like that, yeah. It's a good idea. I like that idea. I'm gonna nail that down and start working on it. Okay, so we got the map. I definitely want to start reaching out to people about that discount cross promotion deal because I think that's really badass.
Yeah.
What about because you guys are fully digital, right?
So, well, not 100%. So,
Okay.
well, he pretty much draws 100% digital, but
Hmm.
for the campaign, there's a number of pages, because we have some tiers where people backed and they got original content. So he's doing those on Bristol, like nice Bristol for folks.
Right.
Um, and people love original art.
I know.
Absolutely love it. And so I don't know how difficult that is to get from your artist. Um, but
Yeah.
that is something that people will pay for, man.
I know. We talked about it, and he's not confident in his country's mailing practices in order
I
to like
understand.
get those things to me confidently. And we discussed it at length because I think I talked about it either with you again. Forgive me for not remembering,
Oh
but
no,
my
it's okay.
memory is shot the past couple weeks. Some heavy
All
jobs the
good.
past couple weeks. But yeah, we're talking about it on a stream recently where they were like, "Oh yeah, you should do physical," and I was like, "I don't know. We're all digital. Maybe I talk to him about it." And then we started talking about it, and he's just like, "Ah, dude, I would love to, but it would just like it would be a nightmare for me."
Yeah.
Blah blah blah. But he did say that he would be down to do like postcards or sketch cards. So I'm like, okay,
Right.
that's something that's cool. People love those. I love those.
Yes. Yeah.
So.
And that's an easy one at a little bit lesser, like, price point you can usually do too.
Mhm,
And people still feel like they get something really cool because it is a one-off piece because it's a little sketch card.
mhm.
So I think that's a good idea where you can put them in. That I think you do all right with that.
Yeah, I'm gonna definitely pursue that with him because he was telling me, but that, like he would be down to do that, and then damn, I just lost my train of thought.
Um, have you
Hmm.
so original stuff's hard. Like, yeah, for us, it's just it's easy. Like Mutt's, he's like 20 minutes away, so it's easy for us to work together on that kind of stuff. And that is one of the things that's hard when you're not in the same area, same country,
Yeah,
same continent. But the guy's art is great, and you guys work together really well. So
yeah, definitely. I'm very satisfied with like I said earlier. Like I rarely have notes for him. I
mhm.
think the last note I had to give him was he accidentally drew Derrickos as an adult when he should have drawn him as a child. So that was
uh,
like that wasn't even that's not even like a note. That's just like a
right,
glaring like mistake. So it was just like it's so cool, dude. It's like it's such a relief not to have to worry about like fighting him on things and he doesn't have to fight me on things because it's
right.
just and
When you do it with somebody, it's just it's like
yeah,
stress off.
exactly, dude, and I'm very fortunate to have found, like, 2 dudes who actually like working on the project too, not that,
Mhm.
colorists and artists hate working on their own projects, but, like, they constantly tell me, like, "Hey, this is really cool, I like this," and that's like a confidence boost, like, "Okay, cool,
Sure.
the artist is down for this, he loves it, he wants to draw it, the colorist is enjoying drawing the thing, so that's good, so at least I'm comfortable. That's like a whole nother level of things I don't have to worry about. And that's a reality for a lot of people is they do have to worry about those things.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
Falling out with an
uh,
artist, that'll
exactly.
ruin you.
Yeah, I mean, a comic can be a job just like anything else for
Mhm.
an artist or a colorist or whatever.
Definitely.
It can be a means to make a paycheck, but it can also be more than that. So when you do have somebody that appreciates it for that, that's great.
Mhm.
That's good that you found this kind of people too, because it'll show through on the campaign. Uh, like I feel like there's definitely some. I backed a Kickstarter a while back, and when I got the book, I was like, I just felt like I was like, man, I just don't feel like the artist's heart was in this thing. It just
Mm.
didn't feel genuine at all to me. It didn't feel right,
Yeah.
and I think that um, that'll show through that these guys are into it.
Isn't it funny when you can tell that?
Yeah, I
It's like
mean,
you can feel it. And then that's mind blowing to me because it's like you'll see things and you're just like, oh man, like what? Like you're just
yeah,
reading things like there was Um, there was like there's constantly things flooding my timeline on Twitter about,
mhm,
like terrible art, this and that, whatever. And it's usually from like big, big companies and stuff,
yes,
Marvel or DC. And I'm just looking at them like, man, that's what happens when you just assembly line stuff that has no heart behind it. It just
right.
ends up looking like it's rushed and not a lot of time or effort was put into it. And it's sad,
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, the thing that I had noticed about this particular book, which I'm not gonna say out loud, but,
Sure.
the thing that I noticed, and the reason I felt that way is because it started off in the first couple pages looked pretty good, and I was like, "Okay, cool," and I'm, like, going through, and I noticed that, like, as I went through the book, like, getting into later pages, there'd be sections where and it was obviously the guy like because artists don't they do sequential art, but sequential art doesn't mean that they draw them from start to finish in the same order. Like
Mhm.
so you can see places where it was just it, shockingly lazy like stuff that I was like this art does not match. Like I can tell it's the same person, but it doesn't match. Like you can see that the guy stopped caring here. Like
You
he
can like
wasn't
see
drawing
where it
things
happened.
the same way. And I was
Oh,
like, I can't believe that this guy put this out there and he let him get away with it. And obviously you don't know what happens behind closed doors. There could be
sure.
all kinds of stuff, but um it was kind of sad to see a book like that.
Yeah.
Um
Yeah, that always bums me out when you see stuff. You're like, oh man, like the story's great, like the writer is a good dude, and then you're like, you just wonder like what happened, you know?
yep. And I've gotten them too before where uh it's the the art's good and the color is good, and the book is like the printing is absolute crap, like
Yeah.
absolute garbage.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, the guy who the creator didn't care enough to, or I guess he didn't have enough money to
Mm,
step up and do it. I don't know,
yeah.
but we're we're blowing we're blowing every cent we made, and then probably some more on our print.
Yeah.
It's well, I mean, I'm just saying that because it's expensive, and
Oh, yeah.
I don't want our first thing to be junky, and then for people to feel that way about us. It's so
Right.
expensive.
Yeah, I'm pretty terrified about printing, but did you guys order a physical proof?
Yeah, Mutt has some physical proofs.
Okay.
The place he got it from, I haven't been able to hold it. He showed it to me. I haven't been able to get hands on it yet. But he's a printing guy. Like that's the business he's in.
Mutt.
So
Oh,
I'm
cool.
really lucky because he has dealt well. He's not printing, but
Sure.
marketing, and so he's always getting like print proofs and stuff like that. In, and I'm really lucky because he knows what he's talking about when he's talking about printing.
Mhm.
And he said that this guy's stuff is good. It costs a little bit more. Sorry, Brian. It costs a little bit more than a couple of the other options we could go with, but it's domestic. It's fast. Like his stuff looked really good. So we're we're willing to pay a little bit more for some of those things because Print Ninja's great and they do a good product,
Mhm.
but you have to order it like so long and like you know so far in advance and hope that it gets to you in time.
Yeah.
So you have to play that game.
Yeah, that's cool that you guys have that connection though. That's yeah, that's people would kill for that.
Oh, I know.
You know?
I don't I don't discount that part. Like
Yeah.
I'm incredibly lucky to have him
Yeah.
because he knows that stuff. Um, but I tell you what, if you have questions, you hit him up. He'll help you out.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. That's cool. Hit up the mud man. Oh, somebody's knocking at my door. Oh, I should probably go, man. It's already 9.
Yeah, I gotta probably get out of here.
My
It's
boy's
midnight
bedtime. Oh yeah.
midnight at my house. All right, brother. Well, it's fun talking to you tonight.
Likewise, dude. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Anytime. We'll do it again. And if you have any more questions or anything, I'm always love to hear ideas. Run them by me.
Definitely. Will do. That's all I am is just ideas. Just nonstop.
Kindred spirits, man. I'm the same way.
Yep, gotta get them out. All right,
All
cool,
right,
dude. Well, I'll keep my eyes on your guys' show too. What was the name of it again?
it's on Muttman's channel. We just I was calling it comics and whatever because I didn't have a name.
Oh yeah, no, I like that. I like that. It's good.
Uh, we're just goofy. Anyway, Neo Valentine, nice to talk to you, man.
Yeah, thanks for stopping by, Neo. Appreciate it.
Yep. Cool. Well, have a great night. Chat with
All
you later,
righty.
Katie.
You too, Matt. Macho. See you later.